Welcome to another episode of All Tai'd Up. Today's special guest, we have Jackie Christie. Jackie is known for being on the hit reality series Basketball Wives LA. As an icon in the fashion world, Jackie has done several different designs that have been seen worldwide. Jackie is also known as an author. With 6 books underneath her belt, she also maintains being a wife and a mother. Stay tuned as we dive into this episode. Let's talk about this. Let's get into it. We got Jackie Christie here. Jackie, I have met online. I've never actually officially seen you till now, but I feel like I've known you for so long. I'm really excited that you're here.
You know what, Ty? I'm excited too. I like your flavor. I've seen you do a lot of things, and I was like, I want to sit down and talk to him. I think he got a lot to say.
Too much.
Too much?
But let's get into it because I'm really excited to talk about all the different books. And recently I've just heard that you've had 5 different books. You're an author. I knew about 3, but something, creeped up on me and you hit that 5 mark. What's that like to be an author? And you're a TV personnel, you're a producer. But really I want to know what it's like to be an author because, I read a lot of books and I've never written one. But, what's that like in that process?
You know what? It's exciting for me. I always, being married to Doug Christie for so long, my husband being in the NBA, a lot of the media wanted to talk about us and speak about us, but nobody really knew the inside details. So we started out with our first book we co-wrote together with Michael Levin, a ghostwriter who's a bestseller on New York Times. And we said, we really want to tell our story. He said, well, for your first book, I'll help you. It's going to be in your words. And he ghost wrote it. And it was my words and Doug's words. And it's called No Ordinary Love, A True Story of Marriage and Basketball. The reason we went that route and self-published is we went to all the big houses, Simon and Schuster. I won't name the others. They all loved the idea. And they was like, great, we want to do it. Well, you're excited. My first book, I'm going to get a deal. But then when it came time for the meetings, it was, but we need you to speak about the NBA. We need you to talk about players. Who have you guys seen fooling around on their families? That kind of thing. And we're like, we're not here to do that. We want to talk about us. We want to let the world know who we truly are. So once we seen that if we didn't do it that way, it would be an issue with the deal itself and all that. We said, let's self-publish. So we opened our publishing company and we put our first book out. It was successful. We sold umpteen copies. We made like $100,000. That was huge for your first book. Books don't sell a lot. So once I did that, I just got into the synergy of let me write more books. I want to help people. So I wrote, my next one, Woman, and then, Proud to be a Colored Girl. And I've done Love Ponds, just any kind of book that help women and couples to stay together and inspire them. So for me, it's been an exciting journey. It wasn't, easy, but I'm glad we made it.
I haven't read any of your books and I hopefully, I'll read them or I'll listen to them on digital copy.
Yeah.
But your first book that you came out with, that was about being married.
No Ordinary Love. Yeah.
And that's being married to a basketball player. Is that easy?
It's not. And the reason I say it's not only because you're getting judged, especially if they play on the big floor, which is the NBA. And on top of that, they travel a lot. So you have to be dedicated to not just the relationship, but to that person. So I'm his biggest fan. So when he would travel, they're gone a lot. I traveled with him. So I took a lot of hits for that. It's like, why is this athlete taking his wife on the road? Oh, he must be whipped, that kind of thing. So I was insulted. And that hurt, but at the same time, I just kept going. And we knew the truth, and that is we're best friends. We're on the road. We're watching movies. We're shopping. We're planning our new home we're building. Our kids, they were little, so they could travel with us, or I had my mom retire, and she would be home with them. And, when we were gone for a few days, then we come back. So the stability of our marriage made it through because I was able to go with him. So it's not easy. You got to be ready to dedicate yourself to not just him, but basketball.
In your book, do they talk about certain rumors or because I know it's been challenging because I have a lot of basketball clients of mine and, obviously I see them out there having a great time. Have you been tried in that? Oh
my God, yes. The rumors is fast and long. I think we are the most talked about sports couple ever, and in a good way and in a bad way. And the bad stuff, sometimes we'd find it funny, but then sometimes I'll be honest, I cried, Ty, because it's like, why are they making up these stories? I'm not this person. I'm not, it was like, oh, she won't let him interview with women. She, attacked this person and that person. The only issue I ever had with a female was one reporter years ago in Toronto. He was playing for the Raptors. He was doing he was doing a signing for the team. It was basketballs. A girl came and she reached over the table. We had our baby with us and she, went to give Doug a hug, which was fine. But when he hugged her back, she tried to kiss him. Would almost knock my daughter out my hand. So I did grab her up, but it wasn't like I attacked her.
You grabbed her up?
Oh yeah, I choked
You should need to
I choked
sock
her.
her.
Out. Oh, I did,
Yeah,
I choked
exactly.
her out
Listen, you
immediately.
did a double tap me in and just take her out. Wait, what?
Right, Ty. Like I'm like, you almost knocked my little baby who's 9 months old out of my hand, and it's a concrete floor. It's cold in Toronto. We were in like big old coats, and I'm thinking, no, you don't have to do that. If
See,
she
that's
would've-
the problem right now with entertainment. You guys say it so nicely, and I'm so not used to that. I would have knocked that bleep out.
you would
right?
Like I mean, and Doug just he was taken aback, so he kind of what you know
Right in front of you, though?
I mean, it was a crowd of people lying all the way out and around the corner, cameras everywhere, media everywhere, basketballs everywhere. You know, we're just here doing a signing. That's it. And I'm just sitting there with my husband holding my daughter, but when she grabbed at him, he had his arm around us. We all fell forward, and the baby almost, if she would have fell, it would have smashed my daughter's face. So I just grabbed her around her neck and like slammed her to the table, like, get off of us. Like, what are you doing? Out of instinct. And I apologized to her. We're friends to this day. But that story followed us. So all kind of rumors sprung from that. Jackie's crazy. Jackie's got him P-whooped, you know, P-U-S-S-Y whooped. I don't want to on your podcast. But, and I'm like, how come he can't just love his queen, love his woman? That's my king. And we just show people how it's still sexy to be an athlete and be that jock, but still have a great relationship.
I don't know anything about your husband, but he
Yeah.
looks like a nice quality man.
Thank you.
And, you know, I know there's a lot of rumors out there that I've read,
Yeah.
but let's talk about the basics. He's an amazing father. He has 3 beautiful children, which with you, right?
I have 2 and then a stepdaughter, yeah.
But you claim that to be yours.
Yes, definitely.
And, you know, it's weird because the dynamic of families have changed so drastically, you know, and but the parenting has always been there. So I don't know if it's a parenting book that you guys want to come out with later on, but,
Yeah,
you know, as I get older, and we were talking about this earlier, you know, I'm more into certain things, but, you know, the dynamic of you guys is about parenting
Yes.
and making sure that your children are safe and that they learn things that maybe you didn't learn.
That's right.
But, you know, let's talk about more about your books because I really want to get into it. I heard that you grew up in Washington, you know, which is always cloudy and gloomy and everything else, you know. But, you know, for me being in real estate, Zillow's from there. So let's go about you growing up in Washington.
You know what? We like to call it baby making Seattle because that's all you do is make babies. It's raining, but it's beautiful. It's green, and the city's vibrant culture. We've got Starbucks, we've got, you know, coffee, we've got this place called Broadway, and that's where, you know, everybody can go and you can party, you can eat Dick's Deluxe burgers all hours of the night. Arnold's was there, which was all the arcades. You know, it's a very eclectic city. It's clean, it's rich, it has water. It's very different. A lot of people were like, you're from Seattle? I didn't know black people were from Seattle. I'm like, yes. Like, it's very culturally diverse. And nowadays, you know, with Amazon taking over all of our downtown and all of that, it's a big metropolitan city now. It's not as small as it used to be. But yeah, I'm from Seattle. We vibe out. We had a place called Seward Park where we hung out and partied. Like, a lot of the rappers would come through there. A lot of people smoke weed. I didn't smoke weed. I like to, you know, drink golden champagne back then and eat pepperoni. Weed just made me goofy.
So you've tried weed?
I've tried it a couple times, but it just makes me paranoid. Like, for me, I can feel my lungs. If I take a puff of weed, I don't care if it's good weed, bad weed, Thai stick. I know the names of the different weeds.
Why
and
is it
stuff
called
now.
Thai stick?
Because it's called Thai stick. Like, I was in
Listen,
Hawaii. I
I'm
lived
not-
in Hawaii for 3 years.
I'm not promoting any of that shit.
And they call their weed, it's a purple color, and it's called Thai stick. It's
course
supposed to be
it
the
is.
best. So, you know what? I try it, and it makes me, like, feel my veins through my body. Like, it takes me on a different dimension. So I don't like marijuana, for me.
You know, you grew up in Washington, but
Yeah.
you didn't name Starbucks.
Yeah, Starbucks. We have it.
Starbucks, is that good out there? Is it better?
Starbucks in Seattle, where it comes from and where it originated, is the best coffee you're going to get. It's not, I think when you get it in other places, it's kind of watered down. There, you're going to get that robust coffee, you know, mocha flavor. You just taste the coffee beans when you're up there.
Ask her what teenage Jackie was like. So did you always want to be in entertainment? What were your parents like? What were your ambitions, stuff like that?
Okay.
So growing up,
Yeah.
what were your ambitions? What did you want to do? I mean, were you into basketball first off? Were you wanting to get into music? Because, I mean, Washington knows for music, right?
Yeah, Washington is known for music and also sports as well. When I met my husband, well, teenage, I was partying, having fun, like, but it wasn't at clubs. It was more over people's houses. You do kickbacks there, laid back picnics in the backyard, and everybody comes over and we listen to music and dance and double dutch and all that, jump rope. It was more that kind of partying in Seattle. We didn't have big clubs. LA, I would have been a mess. Like, they're fast out here. So it's different. And I just, I always knew music was something I wanted to get involved in. So I later went on to open a, record label. Fashion
you opened a
was my
record
thing.
label?
Oh, yeah. I have a
because
record
I
label.
don't know anything about that. I know that, here you are on Bass Wives. It's weird because I know who your husband is,
Yeah.
but not really. I know your name, and your name kind of supersedes him.
It's
No
funny,
disrespect.
That's true. No,
but,
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
Nowadays.
kind of out there, but I haven't heard anything about the music. Are you a singer?
Yeah, actually, no. I did do one song, and I'm gonna send you the thing. You're gonna crack up. Hilarious. It's called, Woman of the Year, I think it was. I just did it. I just wanted to try it, but I've signed artists, to nice contracts and stuff like that. And nobody knows this story, but a long time ago, and it's funny because people can go back and check. Usher's mom, when I first opened my record label, I was doing really good things with, young artists, talented young artists. She reached out and said, Usher's thinking about leaving his label. We heard about you guys, and I would love to get a meeting with you, and perhaps you could sign Usher. Blew me away. I'm like, I fucking made it. You talking about Usher, one of the greatest artists of all time. That was years ago. Of course, it didn't pan out. He stayed with his company I think he was with. But it showed me that if I really want to do this, I can do this. But that was one of the 10 different businesses I've had, and I do. I still have that company. But yeah, music, it was something I wanted to do when I was young.
It's weird, and I'm just going to start this off. Actually, Usher's brother was here. He's a producer,
Wow.
Jay Lux.
Uh-huh.
He was here maybe a couple months ago, and he was telling me a little bit about the music industry. But I want to talk about you. How did you fall into the music industry? How did you open your own record label? How did you start signing people? Like, that's pretty significant coming from, a background with basketball, with athletes, and now here you are signing artists.
My daughter actually is a singer. Chantel, she's into music. I came out to Hollywood about 14 years ago and actually made it my home. I had been coming back and forth doing modeling, Pepsi Cola, all them different kind of places when I was younger. So when I decided I'm gonna go out to LA and I'm gonna get young Hollywood and give them a start. I had been hearing about it. That's when MySpace and all that was out, and I seen them all struggling. So I said, I'm gonna go take my money and I'm gonna invest in that. And that's what Shani was doing, our daughter Shani. So we came out to LA, started like taking them, putting them in the studio, different young artists, and I seen that the talent is real. So we put together different songs. We did We Are the World, which is 4 million hits now on YouTube. Tori Kelly was in it, Brian McKnight Jr., Raz B, all these people that were still kind of unknown at the time, and now they're all gone on to do huge things. But for me, it was more, my daughter's doing it anyway. There's a need for somebody to help this young talent, and let's keep them off the streets at the same time. I've been successful. I want to help. So that's how I got started in doing a label.
It's interesting that you say that, the Raz B and other, such names, Brian McKnight Jr., whatever, right? Yeah. But, a lot of people in LA have that perception that it's easier for somebody that has a significant net worth to get further, but not necessarily. No. You still have to have talent to actually do something in Hollywood. Yeah. There's a lot of people that come in Hollywood think that, I got $10 million, $15 million, I want to be something. You still have to have talent. And I want to make sure we clear up this perception in LA, because it's not a fact. You actually have to have what it takes.
You do. And it's funny you say that, because not only do you have to have talent, you have to get the opportunity. You could come out here, you could buy your way in front of some people, but if you get an authentic opportunity for somebody to really showcase who you are and what you do, it'll go a lot further than you saying, because I know this person and I got some money, I can go and buy my way in. So I wanted to give all this young talent. Brian McKnight's father, which is Brian McKnight, so Brian McKnight Jr. is who I was helping. He could have went through his dad's route, but some of these kids also, their parents are like, no, go get it on your own. I did it. Now you go do it, because they want to teach them how to survive. If it wasn't for me, or if I die tomorrow, you still got to make it. So a lot of those kids had those stories. They was like, Miss Christie, if you could just help me, I just want to put a CD out, or can you help me get in the studio? Let's go. Let's do it. And then if they had talent, they had drive, they had, dedication, because I wasn't trying to waste time either. Then we, helped them and developed whatever we could with them. We did projects, and they went on to do great things. So
other businesses you have, what are you doing? You're producing?
Yeah,
right?
I've produced my own reality show, which was called the Christies Committee. When we were approached by another basketball player and his wife years ago, when reality was just starting out, and they still had that Jessica Simpson, and her friend Nicole Richie show out. They were like, everyone always talks about you and Doug. We want to do a reality show. Would you guys be interested? So of course I went down on we had a basketball court at the time in Seattle. He was playing basketball. I said, someone just reached out. They're in the league as well. They want to do a show about us. Do you want to do it? And he's like, I don't know. And I said, well, let me hear them out. Let me get us attorney and let's see. So Doug's agent at the time, his sports agent, got on the phone. We all talked and I liked the idea. I said, okay, it's going to be about us and we can put our story out there the way we want. Let's do it. So that's how we got into that. And I said, well, I want to produce. So I did. And that was our first show. It was successful on BET. It was actually bought by VH1 and then sold to BET. And then I went on to get into Basketball Wives after that.
So you were actually a producer before Shawnee O'Neal was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, so that's
Definitely.
a lot of credit for you.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people don't know that. So I've done that in a lot of other shows. And I've ghost produced on some shows that I didn't actually put my name on, but I was the executive producer behind it and I give ideas. And now I'm getting back into it heavy. So along with that, I have a candle company, cosmetics, fashion. The list goes on and on. I've done real estate, adult toys. I like to call it adult toys because it's like same thing. It's vibrators and dildos. No, I'm just kidding.
Entertainment, and I'm learning this because politically correct. Mm-hmm. You have to be that way, I guess. Because I come from a totally different other atmosphere.
Oh wow.
And not wow. It's just. It's just the way you have to do stuff in entertainment. And a lot of people don't realize that entertainment's a whole different other language.
Right.
You have to be cool, calm, collective. And me, I'm like 0 to 60, like no problem, light speed. But entertainment is so chill. And you got to, even people that you don't even like, somehow you have to like them. And why is that? Because you're a producer, but when you're a producer, you got to be that cool, calm, collective. But when you're an actress, on a reality show, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
What is more familiar for you? Is it being a producer?
You know what, Ty? That's a great question. I do both. So I'm an actress on regular TV, film, feature films, all that. But on reality TV, you're just yourself. People ask me, is reality TV easy? No, it's harder because when them cameras roll, it's like, okay, now go be Ty. Most people start thinking, okay, how do I be Ty? For me, it just comes natural. I'm just going to do me, whatever I'm feeling. If I'm not feeling you right now, I'm not feeling you right now. So what? That's how I am. But it's hard to be that way. If I don't like something you just said, I'm going to tell you I don't like what you just said. Where most people are like, well, there's a camera rolling, so I don't really appreciate what you said. For me, I don't like what you said. You see, that's the difference. And the audience can feel that. You're saying the things when you're doing reality TV that the audience want to say, but can't. So it's not an easy thing.
Tough.
Reality, that's why you got reality superstars, then you got reality stars, then you just got reality personalities. And I would like to say that it's only a few of us in that top tier category.
Well, when I'm a producer, when I'm an actor, I feel like I'm a psychopath regardless because I don't even know where I stand. I'm just going to go, 0 to ham in 2 seconds. We should complete the series and just do a fucking divorce book. Listen, how to divorce his ass. Fuck him. Okay, we'll show you some later.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's electric.
I'll demonstrate them later for you, Sean.
Yeah.
She gave me a
She's going to give you a Tesla model, right? It's automatic.
Great.
It's going to be one of your extra.
Ask her about the books.
Okay.
How'd you go from
I was going to say, how'd you go from adult love to divorce? Well, listen, he wasn't using the shit.
Right, there it is. That's right.
No, okay. So how'd you go from your first book to completing 5 books? What's that like? First off, let's explain all the books you have.
You know what? No Ordinary Love, A True Story of Marriage and Basketball is my first book that I came out with my husband. And I feel like when you write a book, it's like birthing a baby. So once you do one, you cannot stop. If you're like me and you want to share with the world, I have so much I want to give to the world and teach the world and share what I've been gifted with. So writing for me came easy. After that, I went on to write another book and I was like, I just have to share. So I wrote Woman, A Practical Guide to Loving the Skin You're In. For women, they always are, we're beating ourselves up. Oh, I don't like my hair. I don't like this. Oh, that girl's skinnier than me. Oh, I don't like them pants. I don't like the way my butt looks. So that book was to help uplift women and show them that no matter what, let's learn to love the skin you're in. And you can always make it better. You can change it. You can get surgery. You can do it naturally. You can, start with little things. Maybe you don't like your hair color. It's easy to go buy some dye at the store. You need some help. I got different companies in the book that will donate some dye to you. So that's what that book was. And then I went on to write Proud to be a Colored Girl. That one is because all women are the same. If you take our skin off, we're not black, white, different nationalities. We're all the same. We're all women. So I did that as a play on words to get their attention. Once they go inside, they see that all of us are the same at the end of
You
the
just
day.
want to be loved, right?
That's all. You know what I mean? That's what everybody wants. So that's what that book is. I ended up getting into the intimate series because I felt like in relationships, a lot of times I hear these women, they write me all the time. I do different, sessions where they call. I don't even charge them, but if I have the time, they can call me and I'll talk to them for an hour and encourage them and inspire them and show them how to have a relationship that's long lasting. Mine isn't perfect. I was married 3 times before I met Doug.
Wow.
Yeah. 3
At what
times.
age?
I've been
What did-
engaged 11 times in my life. People don't know that. Like, I'm the marrying type of woman. I don't know why. They want to get married. But
11 times?
11. I
Does
got
anybody
11
even know that
engagements.
about you? Because I
No,
definitely didn't.
that's an exclusive for you. Yeah.
That's an exclusive. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And so for me and Doug, once I met him, I had already been through different marriages. And I don't say that they failed. They just weren't the right marriage for me. So I tell women all the time, if you want a long lasting relationship, first of all, you got to find your soulmate. And they're out there. Or you have to create it. If you find that guy and he might be lacking in this or you're lacking in that, you guys, if you really both want it and you're committed to the commitment, meaning what you have together, whether it's relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, then you'll make it. And it's a fun thing. You want that guy to have peace with you. You want it to feel like home when he's with you. You want it to feel like going to the game and hanging with the fellas when he's with you. You want it to feel like he's in the bathtub with a beer and there's a TV on the wall and he's just feeling it. You want it to feel like him making love to you. You don't want it to be like, oh God, he's sitting in his car outside the house and he doesn't want to go inside because she's in there. The monster's in the kitchen type of thing, So that's why I wrote that one, Sexual Relations, a His and Hers Guide to Finding Greater Intimacy. Intimacy is not just intercourse and sex. It's also intimate conversations. It's also learning your partner and knowing how to anticipate what he might want. If you know he's at work all day and he's coming home, it isn't hard for you to have dinner ready. If not, and he doesn't like that, maybe you have Postmates. We got a lot of shit nowadays that gives you the opportunity to make life easier. Make life easier for your partner. Get into them. That's intimacy. So, and then you'll have a long-lasting relationship.
And this is when we cut to that sex product. So what's that sex product called?
And you know what? And then I got into like the intimate toys, adult toys, because there again, that's one of the gifts that you get by being human for one and getting to enjoy that. Sex, I think, orgasms, intimacy, being adult, being able to have those feelings and experiences, it's natural. A lot of people are afraid to talk about it. So I decided to do a line of toys that would enhance the relationship. So my books, my toys, different vacation spots, ideas, tips, conversations,
what's
all is
interesting?
one.
It's interesting you say that because there's sex that's just sex.
Right.
But then you have to get in that right mindset because, me personally, I've had sex with certain people and when you're not in that right mindset, it doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
So when you have the toys and you're in that right mindset, and that's where your books come involved, right?
Yeah.
It's being in that right mindset first, and then your toys can actually really work, right?
That's right. And it takes you on a deeper level. An intimate connection with a male or female, whoever you're with, whatever that partner is a lot more intense when you're mentally connecting as well as physically. It's a whole package. It's not just one or the other.
And I know Candy from the
Oh, yeah,
Housewives, right?
Housewives of
Atlanta.
Atlanta,
She has a very successful brand.
She does.
But could you imagine having a book that talks about the intimacy?
Intimacy, yeah.
I can't even say that right. There must be a problem
Yeah,
with
it's
me.
getting a little hot in here, huh?
Yeah. Where can somebody find you? I know you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Where do they find you?
They can find me at Jackie Christie at Twitter or Instagram. Facebook is The Real Jackie Christie, or they can find me on my podcast. And I got to get you on there, Ty. And it's the Jackie Christie Project, and it's going to be amazing.
If you like what you've heard here today, please subscribe to our Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Thanks for listening.